Hi everyone, it is episode 17, I believe, or possibly 18. I can't really remember, of the Green Room podcast, and I'm joined by Graham today, also known as Graham Thompson. Give us a little introduction into your artist persona, I guess, and your background in music, and basically anything music related in regards to yourself.
Where do I start? Well, writing over a decade, I'd say. Writing over a decade. Only started putting out music maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Um, yeah, kind of just took off from there then. Fucking doing little bits and pieces on Instagram. Fucking getting nice feedback off people. So I was like, fucking bit of a rap on it, you know, that kind of like. Other than that, like, I don't know where to begin. Like, yeah, that's more or less it, I think. Like, yeah,
You're one of the lads, one of the few guys who's had the opportunity to feature with Lethal Dialect, which is not something at least many lads from, I guess, our generation in the music scene could say they've done. How did that come about? Do you mind telling me?
how the fuck did that come about? I think he texted me because like he was I'm one of these ones like I was always texting him like anytime you put something up I'd be like, oh, that's sick and all, and like tagging him and fucking shit if I was sharing it and shit like
Yeah.
that. And I think he just caught on to my page then, or someone must have showed him or something like that. And he texted me and he was like, oh, bloody blah, fucking like what you do and shit like that. I just having fun with it. And fucking he texted me saying that he stopped writing for a while, like, and he texted me saying that I inspired him to start writing again because I was just fucking shit up on Instagram and having fun with it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's saying that I reminded him a lot of himself when he was my age, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's mad because I first started writing probably 2013-ish when I seen a documentary on, I think it was TV3, with him, Costello, GI, and there was a few other people in it, but they're the ones that stuck out to me.
Broken
And
Song, I think it was.
yeah, I think that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
I seen that and I was like, no way, these boys are fucking rapping in a Dublin accent, just being themselves, just telling stories about life, you know, that kind of way. I could
Yeah.
do that, not that kind of way. So I tried and I don't know, I fell in love with it type of thing. But it was mad cyclical because I started when I seen him doing it, and then he started again when he seen me doing it. So I was like, that's mad the way that worked, like, you know, that
I'd
kind
say
of
you're
way.
fairly chuffed to hear that.
Yeah, man, fucking if someone is like someone like LD, who I'd class as the best writer in Ireland, uh he giving you the seal of approval is like, man, I'm a fucking G, you know what I mean? In your own heads, I think I'm
I
so.
would say keep it real. Like I might have more. There probably is a couple other MCs I might prefer over LD overall, but I would say Keep It Real probably is the best Irish hip hop song to come out of this country. Um,
Yeah,
and it's the one that kind of a lot of people that I would be friends with that might not have been mad into Irish hip hop at the beginning, but that was the song I showed them that kind of changed their minds completely. And they're like, fuck, that stuff's actually fucking good. Like, I'm like, yeah, if you get past the initial kind of stigma toward the accent, which tends to be people's biggest issue,
yeah,
the
yeah,
shit there is some of the best stuff that's ever come. It's not even just as good for Ireland, like the likes of For Real, LD, Costello, and stuff like that. Some of the best shit I've ever heard in my life, like, you know.
yeah.
Uh, so obviously, yeah, it's a fucking big thing to have on your your fucking catalog, I guess, to have done that
Yeah,
feature.
yeah, man. Fucking that. A lot of people have said that to me as well. Like, how did that happen? And I was like, I don't know. It's something that kind of happened naturally. I feel like it was just like I didn't ask for it. He didn't like fucking go seeking for it. He was just like, oh, da, da, da. And then as soon as he said, oh, I'm thinking of fucking getting a few features for this album, would you be interested? I was like, man, of course I would. I'd be honored, not fucking interested. You know, that kind of way.
Yeah,
And then I was explaining to him after he told me that he started writing again because he seen my shit. I explained to him that I actually started writing because I seen him, Costello, and GI doing it. And
yeah.
he was, nah, that's mad, man. I was like, yeah, it's mad how the world works, like, you know.
And are you working on any projects at the moment that you plan to release maybe in the next year or so?
Yeah, yeah. We've got some shit stockpile, let me tell you. I've got one in particular that me and a very, very sick producer goes by the name of Hickey. It's pronounced Hickey on the gram. Just plug that there real quick. He and I are about to release. I think it's like a 15 track project.
Yeah.
Just me and him, fucking killing shit. We're planning on calling it Irish Gold.
What's that?
Nobody knows that yet, but it's not a concept album. It's just like it kind of happened because I he has the chain with a little gold fucking it's like the shape of Ireland, you know
Yeah.
that kind of. And then I went into town one day and I just seen a little gold chain that says 100% Irish, and I bought it. And we were sitting in the studio one day, and he was like, "Oh, the two chains, no man, you should call it Irish Gold or something like that, and get a picture with the two chains." So I kind of led from that. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was just feeling the Irish Gold is a cool name. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm feeling that like
Sick.
we kind of ran with Irish Gold, but we have like a track on it called Irish Gold, and it's kind of like it's just an opening track type of thing, and we went and named it Irish Gold. So we're gonna call the project Irish Gold because it's just me and him. And we're like, fuck it. We get a picture as the album cover, two of us wearing the fucking chains or something like that, black
Sweet.
and white, and the only thing you can see of color is the two gold chains in the photo. Another kind of way
Yeah.
that'd be the album cover, and we just call it Irish Gold, and we just solidified in Irish hip hop history. Then, you know what I mean?
I definitely have a preference for projects that kind of it's one producer and one rapper. It's pretty cohesive that way. Like, not that there's anything wrong with having multiple producers, but there's always kind of it's cool to see kind of all the varied sounds that one producer can kind of go down, because it's really
Yeah,
a good way for them to exercise their skills, because nine times
yeah,
out of ten the rapper is the main attraction, so the
yeah,
producer
yeah, yeah,
gets kind of the second bit of attention. But naturally, yeah, when there's like loads of different kind of vibes in there, it'll drag more people into listening to that producer
yeah.
stuff as well.
That's funny you say that because back to your other question about projects, I'm actually in the works of working with a few different producers on a project where it's just me, a producer, me, a producer, me, a producer, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
No features other than featuring producers, you know, that kind of way. So I don't know, I'm going for like a kind of like you might have a boom bap track next to a trap track next to a fucking like a instrumental, like just instruments, drums and guitars, shit like that,
Yeah.
or like next to a sample track, that kind of way. So see how it goes. We have a few tracks off it, and it just sounds like you're going through a random kind of grime vibe, that kind of way. So it
Yeah.
sounds cool. Sounds cool. And then the third album, well, they're not albums, they're just projects. I'm calling them projects. Uh, is me and featuring other artists. So it's me, whatever producer, and the artist, that kind of way. So it's just
Yeah.
me getting it out because I don't really feature, like, I don't really do a lot of music with a lot of people, and I want to, like, that kind of way. A lot of people that obviously are getting involved with this project, the feature artist project,
Yeah.
or they want to work with people. So yeah, there's three main projects on the way, and then man, I have fucking stupid amount of fucking feature tracks with other artists that I haven't been released yet. So yeah, there's there's a lot coming in 23.
And
Put it that.
you've been doing quite a lot of gigs lately, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, it's starting to pick up, man. It's something I was nervous about for a while. I got asked a couple of times, like, and I was like, nah, because I don't know, it was an anxiety type thing. I didn't feel
Yeah.
like I was
That's
ready
natural.
for that, yeah, that kind of way. But I don't know. I think anyone, if there's anyone even listening to this, uh, that raps and is in the same boat where they're like, oh, I'd like to do a gig, but I'm nervous because of this, that, the other, fucking do it. Because after that first one, it's just like, yeah, it's nothing, like, it's just that forced initial gig, your first one, popping your cherry is hard, like, that kind of way. It's fucking, it's awkward, it's fucking, yeah,
So much
you're
work you're doing,
it's
like,
awful. But once you do the first one, you're kind of good. But yeah, I've been getting a few lately, man. It's starting to pick up. Thank God. I do anything, man. Fucking paid, unpaid, doesn't matter, man. I'm just happy to, because I don't do music for money. Like, it's not my motivation. I do
yeah.
music because I genuinely have a fucking love for hip hop. Not even hip hop, just music in general. Like, I have a love for it. Like, I have a passion for it. So if I wasn't making money, which I am, but if I never did, it wouldn't stop me from doing it, that kind of way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am.
That's fair enough. I don't think anyone really kind of should get into music in the first place with money being their main motivation. few and far between where people actually do that, and if they do, they don't
Yeah,
last very long. It's kind of like it's going to be a
start.
while, and it takes you have to be very lucky to get the opportunity to be able to make like a full-time living off music, like especially
Yeah,
in Irish hip hop. How many of them are there out there? I'd say less than two hands worth of
yeah.
people, like,
If even, I don't think there's many people making.
and they're probably not making as much because I know in a few cases like people that are getting fucking seriously big gigs around the country and like stuff. I'm thinking like they must be making fair bank off it, like, and then you're finding out how much they're actually getting. It's like, all right, I know it's not all about the money, but I think they're being a bit fucked over there considering. But
the
yeah,
crack.
it's a
Yeah, yeah,
shady
no.
enough business like that. You kind of have to look after yourself.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. But you just kind of have to. Yeah, I think if you're just doing it for money, you're in the wrong game. If you're doing it because you love it, you're never really gonna think about money. You know, if you make a few quid off it, that's a bonus.
Everyone would be a rapper if it was that easy, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the way it's looking these days.
Yeah, everyone is. It's cool to be a rapper, but it's fuck all you new kids. Like when I started out, no one fucking wanted nothing to do with me. Like,
Yeah,
especially down in Galway, man. You know, there was no one down there at all at that when I started off, say in 2014 or so, when I actually started putting stuff out there under a name and stuff like that. Like I didn't know anyone, and so I was very much alone until I moved to Limerick. Then and I got in with kind of the circle there, and that's when I kind of when you started going to gigs then and shit like that. That's when I actually got to know everyone. Like at most, I knew just the likes of Costello and Little Dialect and stuff just from watching them on YouTube and shit like that. But once you get out there, actually, you don't realize the fucking scene is huge, like, and it's getting bigger every
yeah,
day, and good
yeah,
for the most part, like.
yeah, extremely. Like I look at it as a type of thing like but the only thing about Ireland is like people are very clicky,
Yeah,
you know, very, very much so. But I feel like if everyone kind of fucked with everyone, it'd help the scene in general, you know, that kind of way. Because if one person blows the fuck up, it's gonna put a spotlight on the Irish hip hop scene as a whole. So I don't know. I just think there's a lot of bitching going on, you know, that kind of way.
there is for sure. I don't deny that at all, but it's kind of
Cracks for the crack, like, you know, that kind
just
of way.
keep
Make music for your
dodging
fan.
bullets, I guess, and you will meet primarily decent people. And I think
Yeah.
I've done that quite well thus far. Like I've kind of avoided certain circles and cliques and just
Mm.
accumulated a good friend group and a good network of producers, rappers, and anyone else in between. Like so, for the most part, the scene is quite uh, you're better off kind of going toward the individuals in between the clicks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Now, Bad
exactly.
Arts, the label I'm on is a click, but we're certainly not the kind of ones where it's like, saying fuck you to everyone outside of the circle or whatever like that. I would
Trying
say
to
we're
be
pretty humble
inclusive.
crowd here, like.
It's not trying to be like exclusive to other artists. I mean,
No,
yeah,
not at
it's
all.
just not. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, like I'm working with a couple of people at the minute. Like, and we're trying to do some stuff where we are trying to be inclusive. You know, we're trying to like collab as much as possible. We're trying to like fan share, fucking event share. So like, there's talks of us sharing an event with people from England. So we do a gig over in England, they do a gig in Ireland, you know, that kind of way. And it's like they set up a gig in England for us, we set up in Ireland and a gig in Ireland for them.
Yeah.
And we fucking plane, boat, whatever, planes, trains, automobiles type shit.
Hmm.
And yeah, fan swap shit, you know, that kind of way. Networking, meet other people, meet other artists type of thing. But yeah, I think Ireland just needs to fucking wake up to like there is a music scene. It's happening. Like there's no avoiding it. Like fucking
Yeah.
everyone just get along with it. Don't stop bitching, boys. You know what I mean? Boys
You
and
don't need
girls.
a Tupac versus Biggie shite, like. It's just a waste of fucking time, like.
Yeah, and I'm saying like I'm not gonna name any names because obviously that's not what people do these days. But like I've seen some stuff where people get hurt going to fucking gigs and shit like that, man. I'm totally against that, man. People say some shit like, you know, in a song and other people get offended by it. Like it's
Yeah.
a bit attack. You don't fucking attack someone and fucking physically harm them. You do what a rapper would do and write some shit that people are gonna be like, oh, he fucking killed him on that track. Not like, oh, he fucking stood on his head. You know, that kind of way. Yeah, that's the way I say it. It's not gonna end well. You know, it's not helping the fucking scene at all. You
It's
know.
just poison, like, and fucking
Yeah.
you just like, and 99% of us don't want any fucking of to anything to do any of that sort of crap and don't want to near us. Like none of us got involved with music in the first place.
Yeah.
It's music is an escape from anything negative in your life, whether it's fucking
Yeah.
fighting or just general day to day shite. Like
Just yeah, I find that like music's helped me through a lot of shit. Like fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's on a real note, fucking if if it wasn't for music, like God only knows what way my life would be now. You know, that kind of way it kept me grounded from a lot of shit. Like people were pulling me this way and that way, do this, do that, and I avoided shit because I was in the gaff, smoking spliffs, making bangers. You know what I mean?
I
So
think that's a very common thing for most rappers and producers, really. Like I'd say the same for myself. Like outside of music, what sort of positive things would I be involved with really at all? And like I only really went to college just to do study music. So if I wasn't doing music, I wouldn't have gone to college. And outside of that, yeah, I can't say I would have been doing much fucking productive shite in life at all, just judging by where I was at. Like, so I would say I've kind of had the same experience really. Like music just completely changed things for me. Like,
mm, fuck, man. If it wasn't like, I think music is an essential part of life. If you're one of those cunts that doesn't like music, man, I don't know. There's something wrong. There's something. You know
it's
that
not
kind of
often
way.
you meet people that straight up just don't like music, like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like people like that. I don't fuck people like that. Grandma does not fuck with people that doesn't fuck with music. PSA.
And do you have any, like, say, music videos or anything coming up? Like, besides projects, is there anything kind of
Yeah, well,
media related that you're kind of doing?
I think it's a thing where video killed the radio star is a
Yeah.
real thing, you know, and I don't know, I feel music videos for me anyways, I feel they're fucking corny, but as an artist, it's something that you have to do because nowadays, like you put a fucking picture on Instagram, a social media site that was invented for fucking pictures. No one sees it. You put up a video, you
Yeah.
know, blows up like it's fucking. So yeah, videos are the way forward for artists. You know, that kind of way. Visuals, like people want to see some cool shit. Like they want to see you as an artist, like interacting. You know, that kind of way. They want to see what you're doing with yourself and shit like that. And yeah, I think a music video for me, a music video is not going to be obviously fucking standing there in front of a fucking sports car with fucking bitches and fucking bottles of champagne and Gucci
No
and
one's
Prada.
doing that in Ireland. Do you know
Yeah,
what the reality like? Do you know?
well, I have seen fucking a couple of videos where there's lads and they're standing in a fucking housing estate and there's fucking dogs and cars and shit like that. And
I
that's
know
cool.
they're making the videos, but the lifestyle they're trying to portray, a lot of them are not living. Do you know, that's what I was.
Oh,
That's
it's
what I
not mine, but I know personally, I've seen some and some are living, like some are about that life, you know, that kind of way.
meant.
And fucking like that's cool and all because like yeah, you're about that life and all, and that's what you're, you know what I mean, that's what you want to portray, but that's not what I'm about. I don't like if you listen to my shit, which that's what you have to do. If you're listening to me, you have to actually listen, like, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of way, speaking on some shit. So if you're listening to my shit, you're not one of those type of cunts, like, you know, you're listening to the music. You're not just, yeah, I don't know, it's a different kind of fucking, it's a different kind of buzz. But in a music video, I'm not gonna be fucking doing any of that shit. It's gonna be me on a real one, you know, that kind of way, type of thing. Unless it's a mad track. But I don't have any tracks to where I'd do anything like that, you know, that kind of way. It's just me talking on some fucking real life shit, basically.
Yeah. Well,
So music,
that's an interesting take. Like I've never really had anyone kind of mention that side of things. Like I get what you're saying. Like it's kind of it's essential. Like for a lot of artists, it's kind of like at least when you're doing running a label and stuff, like the business side of things and the social media side of things and like organization and stuff is a lot more important all of a sudden. And while it'd be great to not have to do any of that shit and just make music, it would. But sadly, it is essential if I want to kind of move in the direction I want to move in. I have to kind of do the boring shit as well, you know? So music videos I can get, yeah, like if you don't want to do it, that's fair enough, but it might actually harm you in some way, which is annoying, like just because the fucking internet now is so heavily visual based across the board. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like you're not doing reels and shit like that. You're not popping, like, you know, that kind of way.
yeah,
You see, even the biggest artists in the fucking world do it, you know, that kind of way.
yeah,
It's just something it's unavoidable. Well, if it's not really, if you don't want to fucking do a music video, you don't have to do a music
yeah, of
video. It's
course.
not, but it's like any publicity is good publicity as an artist, a business, or whatever the fuck you are. If you're trying to get people to know your name, visual like art is definitely a big plus. Like, you know, it's probably the best way to get shit, to
Yeah.
get, you know.
There seems to be much more of a focus on the kind of media side of things nowadays, especially artists having to kind of work on that sort of stuff themselves because, for one, physical media like CDs and vinyls and cassettes and shit's gone downhill in terms of selling that stuff.
Yeah,
And they make fuck all money off streaming sites and stuff. Now, naturally, yeah, I'm sure Drake makes more than us, but if you compare the stats with the fucking bank he's making off, it's probably nothing. So they're all so
yeah.
heavily focused on touring now and concerts and stuff like that. And sadly, the media side of things is essential, you know. So I think that's probably why, nowadays kind of artists in general, even the bigger ones, have to kind of actually do a lot of the work themselves because there's not nearly as much. You're not going to sell fucking 20 million copies of your CD these days, no matter how fucking good you are, which is just a sad side of things, but it's just how it is.
Mm. Yeah, like you never, like I don't even have a CD player. I don't own a CD player.
Yeah.
It's all Bluetooth and fucking shit like this. But I actually, if I fuck with someone and they release something on CD, I go and buy it. Like I fuck with Drake. I have Drake CDs. I have fucking J. Cole CDs. I have an LD CD. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, if I drop a project, I probably might sell some CDs. I don't know if I'd sell some CDs. I might give them away, type of thing, where it's like,
I'd buy one off you if you made them.
thank you. Myself. What would you pay?
Well, for me, like there's a
I'm only
guy.
buzzing with you, man. I'm only buzzing with you.
Well,
I'm
there's
only
no,
buzzing.
but I still would pay like, I mean, a fiver a
Yeah,
time,
well, I
man, you know what I
appreciate
mean?
that.
Like,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. See, a lot of people are like that, but I feel like because, as I said, I'm not money motivated. I
yeah,
feel fucking, I feel mean asking people for money for shit, like because I feel like a lot of people have texted me and being like, "Man, I fucking heard your shit and help me through shit," and that means fucking the world to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I do this shit because that's why I make music for my own peace of mind. So if you're listening to music and it's giving you peace of mind and it's my music, fuck man, like you know what I mean, that means a lot to me. Like I fuck that heavily and I fuck with you as an individual heavily if you say that to me, you know what I
yeah.
mean? So what was the question? I'm a fucking stoner, so I keep forgetting the questions midway through the thing.
Well, it was just really in regards to physical media. If you made CDs, would you sell them or would you give them away for free? Like, I know some people do give them away for free, but in the end, you might feel mean giving them away for money, but people might also feel mean if they're getting them off you for free, especially if they're
Yeah,
asking you for them. It's
yeah,
like, why not? Just even ask for a donation, man. It's not even to make your money back.
yeah.
It's like,
See,
throw us a
that
donation.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with this new dude that's I think he's out of like North Carolina or something like that in America. His name's La Russell.
Don't think I've heard of them, no.
Right, well, the fucking man, look into him. He's really good, man. He's not only is he good lyrically and musically, but like he's trying to make artists get the money that the labels and the fucking streaming services get. Like he's trying to make you go to him direct for the fucking for the art, like you know that kind of
Yeah,
way. So what he does for some shows and some like merch and shit like that is pay what you want. So you go to the thing and pay what you think you should pay to go
yeah,
to that event. So it's a free event, but it's pay what you. So if you are the type of cunt that fucks with that artist heavily, you're not gonna feel bad about throwing a tenner or 15 quid or maybe even a score or something like that.
yeah,
If that's something you want to do, or if you don't have it, you don't have to fucking give it. No one's gonna say, "Oh, that person didn't pay it." That person saying that it was free and they paid 50 cents or a euro. No one gives a shit. The
yeah.
fact that you came, you got yourself out of bed and came to a fucking gig, that's the important part. You know
Mm,
that kind of way. So for me, it's one of those things where I'd probably just fucking give them away type of thing. I was gonna do a thing at a show where like if you come to the show, you get some merch. You
yeah,
know that kind of thing. I was gonna do some merch because I have like a little buddy there that is able to get some merch on the cheap. So we're thinking of doing something like that because I'm just one of those people. Like I'd feel bad asking you if you caught your ass up and came to my gig and I'm like, oh yeah, thanks for coming to the gig. There's t-shirts down the back there, a tenner if you want to get. Man, no, fucking take a t-shirt. If you wear that t-shirt around and someone says, "Who's that? What's that t-shirt?" and you're like, "Oh, it's this artist, Grant." That's worth more than fucking any €10 to me if you ask me. Man.
yeah.
Uh,
It's technically free advertisement as well, you know?
yeah, true. Yeah, even if it gets stuck on the fucking in the wardrobe, man, their man might look at it and be like, "What's that?" And the man might mention it to their friend, their friend might mention it to someone else, you know, that kind of way. But
Yeah, sure. My old lad wears some of my merch, which is fucking gas. Like,
yeah, that I was just about to say that one of my friends, his dad, like he picked that up and wear it, like, you know, that kind of way. He's in his fucking 60s, like, because he listens to me music, like, you know what I mean? And he like he's actually like listening, you know, that kind of way. And he says stuff to me friend, like, "Oh shit, like he said this," and my mate is be saying it back to me, and I'd be like, "That's fucking gas," like that. He listens, you know, that he's actually like, he's not just like putting the song on and fucking bopping his head. He's actually sitting there and listening to what the fuck is being said, and he's saying shit back and all. Like, that's fucking shit cool. Like, I just didn't think someone at that age would fuck with. But then when you think about, like, I'm not talking about fucking mad shit. I'm talking about real life fucking shit. So
yeah,
it's,
that does have a
yeah, in a way, it's understandable. There's no real age cap on it when you think about
yeah. Naturally, people from the older generation will tune into stuff that's a bit more conscious, you know, and
it.
your stuff would definitely be coming from that avenue as opposed to their typical kind of view on hip hop, which is, you know, guns, sex, drugs, fuck
Yeah,
everything sort of shite. And when they hear that, they're just
yeah,
like, oh
shit for
no.
money and shit like that. Yeah.
That's the reason why they don't listen to it, because they think basically all of hip hop is that, which is fair enough when it's what the airwaves are constantly pushing the whole time, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
I always kind of say, a grime track is not for the radio. You know
yeah,
what I mean? No, I'm not thinking like, oh yeah, RT2 is gonna love this. You know what I mean? Nah, that's not the motive. It's like, ooh, these bars are fucking heavy. Like, yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
put this out. You know what I mean? I get excited when I put tracks out. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, I hope someone puts something out and it's better than this, so it gives me a kick up the arse to try and do better than that. You know,
yeah.
that kind of, that's the way I love the fucking. It's like a competitive type of thing in me, like, and I love it. Like, you know, that kind of way. Well, it wouldn't be any fun really if there was no one to compete against. You know.
No. I find it very motivating when I hear stuff where whether it's a beat that's fucking absolutely demolishing all my fucking beats or some fucking savage lyrics or something like that, I'll always take it like, fuck yeah, I need to up my game, as opposed to being like, fuck that
Yeah,
guy, he's better than me. Like,
yeah. I'm that like I'm the exact same. Like I'm like, yeah, that motivates me to do better than that. Not out of jealousy, out of like, oh shit, that's cool, man. I'd
yeah.
like to be saying some shit like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's like there is definitely a certain level of like respect that, like, you know, you'll get in person than you would online if you're just genuinely a lethal MC that does it for the fucking bars and the lyrics. And you might not see them getting their fucking arses licked on fucking Facebook or any of the magazines or whatever. But when they show up to a gig, it's like everyone in the fucking room is like, Jesus Christ, man, you're fucking absolutely unreal. Like Carl French for example would be one, like, you
Sick
know,
art.
and he's recently joined up with the label, like, and fucking yeah, anytime he's around, like everyone's just hanging off his arm because he's fucking genuinely an absolutely lethal rapper, like, but
Yeah,
not so much out there in the forefront of, you know, top 10 rappers in the country or whatever, that sort of shit, you know.
yeah. And some people, I know Carl French a very long time. He only fucking lived around the corner for years. But yeah, man, I listening to Carl since he's doing big. Well, like, remember years ago, Carl used to get big gigs. Like,
Mm,
I'm listening to him since back then. Like, you know, man, and I know that he's fucking heavy with it. Like, you know, he's fucking. It's just, I don't know. People disregard him a lot because of, I don't know why, to be honest with you, because I fuck with him
yeah,
heavy, heavy. Like, me and him talk on a personal note on Facebook and shit like that all the time. You know what I mean? And he's been down. I'm working closely with a producer, Hickey, and he's been down with Hickey. Like, we just haven't crossed paths yet to get a track done. Like, it's gonna
yeah,
happen eventually. I never push these things. Like, there's a lot of artists that I fuck with heavily. Who else? Like Larry Crack. I'm not sure if you know Larry Crack. Got to
mm,
plug Larry Crack here as well. Larry is top 10 in my eyes,
he's very
100%.
good, yeah,
Five, man. Fuck me, he's so good, man. And that's someone that I haven't crossed paths with yet to get a track, but I know it's gonna happen eventually, type thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Carl is the same. There's a bunch of people that I know that it's gonna happen with eventually, but I just let these things happen naturally. You know that kind of way. Like, Carl's a sicko with it, man. Fair play to him.
yeah. I was fairly chuffed when he asked me could he join up with Bad Arts. Like, I was kind of like, Jesus, you know, I like I didn't have the kind of thought in my head to ask him because I was thinking like, well, there's no point in asking him because he doesn't need us. He's fine. Like he's
Yeah.
doing his own thing. Like, but then he got on to me after we did the gig with Rebra there in July in fucking Tullamore. And I was like, are you serious? Like, yeah, definitely, man. Fucking hell. Like, I wasn't really thinking of adding anyone else to the label because we already had like 11 lads there, but I wasn't going to say no to the likes of him for asking to join up. Like, I was like, yeah, 100%, man. That's not even a question with me. Like, so I was
Mm.
fairly surprised by that just because I hold him in such a high regard and didn't really know him all that well either. So I didn't think that'd be something he'd be asking me about. But yeah, it's great. I'm fucking absolutely mad to see his first project out with us whenever that comes, maybe in the next couple of months. Like I've heard
Mm.
snippets already and fucking lethal. Like
I've heard a couple of snippets of Carl tracks, man. Fuck me. He sent me something, man. I was like, I got a little bit excited with it, and I sent him a verse back over it, and he was like, "Nah, man, I'm keeping that for myself." And I was like, "You fucking bastard! I knew you were gonna say that." Like,
it's fair enough, I guess.
there's me, my baby girl coming in now. Hello, Mary.
Alright, I'm trying to be quiet. Yeah.
She's all right. You're all right. I'm not on. It's just a fucking video call type thing.
Oh, I'll leave it to it.
Yeah, you walk away.
Right, in the jar, have fun.
No, you can sit down and shit, man.
I'll go and say something. Do you want a drink?
Yeah, get me a
I
drink, please.
got Fanta and Coke.
Fanta, please, wise,
Okay.
and a straw.
Let me get
You're getting well looked after there.
She's the best. Yeah, she's the best. You don't even.
I've
You don't
done
even.
all that stuff myself.
Oh, stop. Get yourself one of these. They're brilliant.
So, do you have anything else you want to plug before we close out the episode?
Anything else that we want to plug, man? Shows coming up. Couple of shows coming up. Let me see. When the fuck are they? I have them in my notes. Real important shit that I can never find. Gigs. The 26th of December. We've got one the night before New Year's, and we've got one New Year's. The only one that's announced is the 26th. That is in. Where the fuck is it? Shit, man, I don't know. I have to just say it. I do. Stevens Night Fever, featuring Shawnee B, Lork and Mac, Page of the Slot, Don Cobbs, Bino, and Graham, the one and only me. In
That's a lethal fucking lineup, man.
Racket Space in the Bernard Shaw, 8 p.m. till whenever the fuck your man rings you to go home. Free fucking in for this heavy fucking lineup. And Page of the Slot's last gig before he goes to Australia. I know we've said this before, but he's actually going now. He's being forced to go. But
Yeah, he mentioned that to me there recently enough.
yeah, Pager, he's fucking man. Pager's another one of these boys that we haven't done it yet, but it's gonna happen type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I managed to get a track with him as well at some point.
Such a sicko, man. Just real meticulous though. He's a fussy motherfucker, like, but I love him for it though. You know that
Yeah.
kind of way. Because he's so like he's one of the people that I would send a track to and appreciate the feedback he gives you, because if he's not feeling it, he's gonna tell you that. Or if he's not feeling something in it, he's gonna tell you that. You know that kind of way. He's gonna be fucking honest with you, where you send music to people and they're like, oh yeah, that's deadly. They probably haven't even listened to the whole track, where he'll sit there, he'll take the couple of minutes, whatever it is, and he'll listen to it and he'll give you honest feedback of what he honestly thinks, because he's doing a lot of stuff with like mixing and mastering and producing and stuff like that lately, as
Yeah.
opposed to fucking actual rapping. Like, he does both. Like, he's a talent man, he does both, but he'll give you honest feedback on like the mix, or like ad libs or dubs, or the verse, or what you said, or what you could have, kind of way. And
Yeah.
he's a sicko, man. Same with Don Cobbs as well, man. Bino, the boys, they're all sick. Fucking Page's one of them that we haven't crossed paths with, man. Me and Don have done a couple of tracks together already. Me and Bino have one in the works. Yeah, Page is just one of them. He's not going to be the one that got away, let me tell you. And if he hears this, Page, you're not going to get fucking away.
Sam, I'm sure. Look, we'll leave it at that because the fucking Zoom time limit is coming up here.
10 seconds. I see it. I see it.
Nice one for coming on, man. Honestly, really appreciate it, and
No
I'll definitely
problem.
get you on some point again once I get a few more of these episodes out of the way, and maybe when you've got your project coming out of that at that point or something like that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
No hassle, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Sweet, sure. Look, I'll chat to you soon then. So,
Sweet, man.
all right,
Appreciate it, man. Thank
nice
you
one,
very
Graham.
much. Have a good one.
Sweet, see you now.
Bye bye.